We have dramatic video of a skier to show you tonight, caught up in an avalanche in Lake Louise today.
Oh, avalanche, 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 avalanche.
Parks Canada says the skier triggered the slide while just outside the ski area boundary. It was rated as a 2 on a scale of 5, which Avalanche Canada says is about the size of a football field. The skier was carried right to the bottom, buried to their waist, and lost their skis, but miraculously they were not hurt. The recent warmer weather has led to unstable snowpacks, and anyone in the backcountry is advised to be careful. Here's what else is making news tonight. Police charge a man with child abduction 2 years after fleeing Calgary.
We had the resources to travel abroad and obtain numerous passports.
Investigators say he took his son to at least 6 countries before finally being arrested in Mauritius. Plus, the NDP calls on the Premier to reconvene the legislature over the hospital crisis.
This is not normal. This is not just what happens in flu season.
More beds are coming for one Calgary hospital, but not for weeks. And limiting kids' screen time can't be up to parents alone.
Kids' digital lives are really shaped not just by families, but by schools, by industry design choices.
New research shows online media use is everyone's problem.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Tara Nelson.
Hello and thank you for joining us. We begin with a huge update to a case Calgary police have quietly been working on behind the scenes since 2023. A Calgary man is now in custody facing a parental child abduction charge more than 2 years after police say he fled the country with his son. Kevin Green joins us from West Wind's police headquarters tonight. And Kevin, this investigation was very complex and it spanned the globe.
That's right, Tara. Police say this was one of the most complex child abduction investigations they've ever undertaken, and it spanned the world. Investigators say the case began in late November of 2023 when 62-year-old Mohammed Zia al-Rahman allegedly took his 5-year-old child from Calgary without the consent of the mother. Police say the pair traveled from Calgary to Montreal and then left Canada for Turkey. From there, investigators believe the father and son moved through multiple countries, including Russia, Azerbaijan, and the Pacific nation of Vanuatu, before eventually arriving in Mauritius. Police said the abduction was extensively planned and involved buying property overseas, obtaining multiple passports, and using forged documents. Investigators confirmed the man held passports from Canada, Pakistan, Vanuatu, and Turkey, all of them legally obtained. Calgary police say they received very little cooperation from foreign authorities during much of the search, and at times the trail went cold. Investigators told me there were points when they really believed the case might never be solved. But that changed last month when Sergeant Scott Mizaraki got a call at home at 1 a.m. from officials in Mauritius saying they had the man and child in custody.
I was in total disbelief. I was in shock. There's a bit of awkward silence between me and Interpol because I didn't believe this day would actually come. And then I spent the next 4 hours calling and texting the mom. Unfortunately, she was at home with sick children, so she wasn't able to get her phone. But when she picked up that phone at 6 o'clock in the morning, the first words out of my mouth was, "We have him." And we had some emotional time together.
Police say the child's mother immediately traveled to Mauritius, where she was reunited with her son for the first time in more than 2 years. They returned to Calgary the following day. Last week, Calgary police traveled to Mauritius to complete the extradition process. Mohammed Zia al-Rahman was escorted back to Calgary and taken into custody. He is charged with 1 count of parental child abduction and is scheduled for a bail hearing here in Calgary tomorrow. The child is now 7 years old and has reunited with his family and is back attending school. Tara?
Incredible. Okay, Kevin, thank you. A Brooks man is facing human trafficking charges, and RCMP believe there may be more victims. Chad Jensen faces a number of charges, including sexual assault. Mounties say the offenses stem from 5 years of allegations. They say a woman came forward to report that she was in a relationship with a man who had allegedly forced her to have sexual encounters with other men for money, which he controlled and orchestrated. A 22-year-old man has pleaded guilty to aggravated assault in the brutal beating of a city bus driver. Daryl Flett also pled guilty to breaching a release order. Yesterday, a co-accused, 20-year-old Curtis Spence, pleaded guilty to the lesser charge of robbery. Sentencing for both men is set for May. The transit union says the bus driver continues to recover after he was stabbed and beaten with a pipe in the Northeast in May of last year. Calgary police are investigating a series of extortion-related crimes targeting members of the South Asian community. Officers say there have been 12 reported extortion attempts since July. Of those, 9 involved someone shooting homes, businesses, or vehicles. No injuries have been reported. Investigators say victims have received threats via WhatsApp and international calls. Alberta's doctors call them death zones, the hallways and the waiting rooms of hospitals across this province. But now new spaces are coming to help alleviate the pressure. The province has plans to build out emergency capacity in multiple hospitals, but critics are questioning the intent and the timing. Tim Brooke has more on our province's ongoing health struggles.
These are some of the 97 new patient beds coming to the Peter Lougheed Centre. The Minister of Hospital and Surgical Services says aggressive recruiting is underway to staff the wing.
We'll continue to use bursaries, incentives, actively promote the benefits of working in Alberta and living here. It's a number of different solutions that we're working on to free up capacity and build capacity.
The new spaces will include emergency capacity, something Alberta is in dire need of. There's just one issue.
Yeah, I believe the plan for this facility is for it to be operational by late February 24th, I think is roughly the date that I saw.
Doctors say they need immediate help. More than 1,000 spaces are currently in the planning or design phase, but they're of no use right now as wait times balloon and overcrowding remains a major issue.
They make us feel not listened to, diminished, just like our patients are.
Frustrations are boiling over. Workers are still calling for emergency measures, expanded hours, and centralized command.
The emergency physicians have already made it loud and clear how bad the conditions are, how much our patients are suffering. I think we need to find a way to move this narrative forward to what are we going to change.
The leader of the opposition believes the problems are serious enough to reconvene the legislature. He wants an in-depth health conversation and debate.
The answers we get from one of the 4 health ministers is very much, oh, this is business as usual. We'll tinker a little on the edges. We'll do a little bit here and there, and we'll fix this. But the time for tinkering on the edges is long gone.
Many in healthcare say the system just isn't working, but there's no consensus on how to fix it.
If someone requires critical care, urgent care, they should seek it, and they should have confidence that they will get it.
And Tim joins us now with more. Tim, the province is adamant that a state of emergency is not needed.
Yes, Alberta's government has been insisting for the last 2 or so weeks, Tara, that it currently has all the tools and the resources it needs to weather this storm. But as you just heard there, a lot of health workers do not agree with that sentiment. In fact, we saw the Canadian Union of Public Employees just about 3 days ago launch a petition urging the provincial government to rethink that state of emergency decision. As of tonight, Tara, it's just a few hundred signatures short of its 10,000 name goal. So obviously, a lot of people believe maybe it's time for a bit of a rethink on that decision.
Okay, Tim Brooke reporting. Tim, thank you. A promising sign that the flu surge in hospitals may be declining in Alberta, although the death toll continues to climb. The province recorded just 100 more hospitalizations for people with the flu since the last update on Thursday. So far this season, there have been 3,400 people hospitalized for influenza. More than 180 people have died.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
The first shipment of Canadian beef to China in more than 4 years is being prepared. Federal Agriculture Minister Heath MacDonald says China is moving quickly after Ottawa struck a deal with Beijing to reduce tariffs. MacDonald says he's aware of a Canadian company shipping its first load of beef to China next week. China banned Canadian beef in late 2021 after an atypical case of BSE, also known as mad cow disease, was found on an Alberta farm.
That's how quickly this whole process has taken place. It's very interesting because when the door opened, it opened, and business people, and I got to give kudos to our stakeholders, farmers and processors, ranchers. they're ready.
We've welcomed them reopening. To be honest, it should have been reopened 3 years ago, almost 4 years ago. There was never scientific justification for maintaining the closure.
A Chinese importer has also bought a shipment of about 60,000 metric tons of Canadian canola. It's the first order since China halted imports in October in the dispute over tariffs. Calgary's real estate market is settling down after a few wild years. According to the forecast for 2026, home prices aren't dropping or rising dramatically. Neither are home sales. As Stephanie Thomas reports, Calgary is still a top pick for people from outside of Alberta to find affordable housing.
Imogen Priestley specifically chose Calgary to move to from Northern England.
It's either we stay in England and buy, or we move somewhere we really want to move to and we rent for a little bit and then buy.
Since arriving late last year, she is house hunting in full force.
But we're like on Zillow every night looking anyway, so.
According to the chief economist for the Calgary Real Estate Board, the forecast for 2026 will have conditions that are good for both buyers and sellers.
Stability is a good place to be in.
Calgary continued to see rapid population growth from overseas and within Canada, but interprovincial migration has slowed down.
So interprovincial migrants tend to have more of an impact in terms of housing demand, whereas international, they tend to be renters first. So we see that impact on the rental market, and I think that is something that is weighing into why our conditions are shifting a bit.
Concerns about a global trade war since last spring have also not harmed the economy as much as experts feared. However, inflation is still hurting Calgary households.
The number one issue in Canada is still cost of living. So people are going to be looking for cheaper places to live. Alberta is that place relative to BC and Ontario. The key thing to watch, though, is jobs.
Real estate agents say the sense of calm heading into the new year is a good thing.
I think we're just in a period of transition. We're getting back to a sense of normal, because the last 2022 to 2024 were absolutely insane, and that's just not sustainable.
And that a balanced market is still busy, just less busy than the peak.
It took us a couple months to compete against these investors and buyers that were so conditioned to a competitive market. But I'll tell you this, I am seeing an underlying trend that the phones are ringing more.
And Stephanie joins us now. So Stephanie, what did we learn about the supply of homes specifically?
Tara, Calgary has been leading the entire country for housing starts of new builds, but that slowed down until late last year, and the pace of that isn't expected to climb up again anytime soon. However, CREB does note that there are 26,000 units that are currently under construction, so when those are complete and become available or for sale, well, that's going to have an impact on the supply numbers. Now, in terms of price, Tara, we are expecting to see a slight dip into 2026. Where housing prices on average will go down by less than 1%. However, the benchmark price for a single detached house in the city of Calgary is just about $750,000. Tara.
Okay, Stephanie Thomas reporting. Stephanie, thank you. There were some impressive images of the Northern Lights last night. This video was recorded by the University of Calgary's Space Remote Sensing Lab cameras right across the prairies. The lights were sparked by what experts say was a severe geomagnetic storm. And there were stunning scenes in other parts of the world, too. These are from Germany, parts of the U.S., China and Hungary. In the UK, heightened solar wind activity pushed geomagnetic levels high enough for the aurora borealis to be seen across a very wide area, including places well south of their typical range. Danielle joins us now. I didn't see any of that last night. Did you see any?
No, but you know what? Thanks to our incredible viewers who sent a lot of pictures in, I feel like I was part of it because it was quite a show out there. You just had to contend with some wind and some cloud cover to get some good pictures. And there is a show already starting in the skies in Ontario, and we have the potential of seeing that once again here in Calgary and southern Alberta for tonight. All right, we're sitting at -1 right now, just partly cloudy skies. Winds are relatively calm. Those winds are definitely going to pick up tonight, once again up to 70 kilometers per hour. It will tame down tomorrow, but basically this is a cold front swiping through. It's going to open the gates for much cooler temperatures, a high of -3, and our daytime high will be below freezing for the next 5 days. We'll talk more about that coming up, Tara.
Thank you, Danielle. Just ahead, the Prime Minister's bold foreign policy speech. Mark Carney's blunt message about Greenland as Donald Trump prepares to take the Davos stage. But the U.S. president posted some doctored images before he left. Not too many Canadians are seeing the humor. Strong words from Canada's Prime Minister addressing leaders at the World Economic Forum in Davos. Without mentioning the U.S. president, Mark Carney said the rules-based world order is fading and we must adapt. And he reaffirmed Canada's support for Greenland. CTV's Annie Bergeron-Oliver is in Davos with more on Carney's remarks, which triggered an audible reaction of support from the room.
Nestled in the usually calm mountains of the ski town Davos, a chaotic meeting of hundreds of politicians and top business leaders at the World Economic Forum that this year Prime Minister Mark Carney used to deliver a frank message about the future.
The old order is not coming back. We shouldn't mourn it. Nostalgia is not a strategy. But we believe that from the fracture we can build something bigger, better, stronger, more just.
Carney declared the U.S.-led world order dead and said countries must turn inward now that it's clear integration can lead to subordination.
Call it what it is, a system of intensifying great power rivalry where the most powerful pursue their interests using economic integration as coercion.
Withstanding those economic shocks, the Prime Minister said will require like-minded countries to pivot, to work together to hedge uncertainty. While Trump's name was never mentioned, Carney did call on middle powers like Canada to push back against domination by great powers, using tariffs as leverage and supply chains as vulnerabilities to be exploited.
In a world of great power rivalry, the countries in between have a choice: compete with each other for favor or to combine to create a third path with impact.
The message receiving what organizers described as a rare standing ovation at a summit where geopolitics and the future of Greenland is looming large.
Our commitment to NATO's Article 5 is unwavering. Canada strongly opposes tariffs over Greenland and calls for focused talks to achieve our shared objectives of security and prosperity in the Arctic.
Carney may get a chance to raise his concerns about Greenland directly to the U.S. president. While no meeting is currently scheduled between Carney and Donald Trump, the U.S. president will be here tomorrow at the same time as Mark Carney. Annie Bergeron-Oliver, CTV News, Davos, Switzerland.
A lot of people are talking about an image Trump shared this morning, which showed Canada and Greenland draped in the American flag. Michael Couture is looking into reaction here in Canada to yet another provocation.
The original photo came from an August meeting between President Donald Trump and European leaders. It shows them in the Oval Office with a map of Ukraine and Russia in the background. A newly doctored version posted by Trump shows a different type of expansionism. The new map shows the stars and stripes painted over Greenland, Venezuela, and Canada.
He wants to be in control. He wants to manage. He wants to run the hemisphere and be a dictator.
Former Foreign Affairs Minister Lloyd Axworthy believes Canada needs to push back.
I think it's about time we showed a little sort of what the hell is going on, Mr. Trump? Would you stop this nonsense? Because if he's not confronted, then he will feel emboldened to go ahead.
Now, the Globe and Mail is reporting hypothetical responses to a U.S. military invasion are being modeled by the Canadian Armed Forces. However, the Foreign Affairs Minister would only speak broadly about national defense.
To always ensure that the defense and protection of our country is first and foremost on top of our list of priorities.
CTV News requested a comment from the Canadian Armed Forces, but we did not get one. Trump has mused about taking over Canada for more than a year, but one of his former advisors downplayed the seriousness of that particular post.
But just in an interview that he did a few hours ago, he didn't say anything about the United States taking over Canada, and in fact referred to Canada's interest also in the Arctic. So I wouldn't be too concerned about that from the Canadian perspective.
Kellyanne Shaw says Trump is having a little fun with that post, but for many in Canada, it's serious. Michael Couture, CTV News, Ottawa.
Police in Australia are searching for answers following the discovery of the body of a Canadian this week.
At this stage, it's too early to speculate on cause of death. We simply can't confirm whether this young lady drowned or died as a result of being attacked by dingoes.
19-year-old Piper James was from Campbell River, BC. Police in the Australian state of Queensland say her body was found yesterday morning on a beach on Fraser Island. They say it was surrounded by a pack of about 10 wild dogs. James had been working on the island for the last 6 weeks and was traveling with a fellow Canadian. The result of a post-mortem is expected by tomorrow. Global Affairs Canada is providing consular assistance to the family.
This is CTV News Calgary.
Let's return to our top story now. Video of a skier triggering an avalanche at Lake Louise today. Parks Canada says it happened just outside the ski area boundary. The skier was carried to the bottom, buried to their waist, but was not hurt. The slide was about the size of a football field. It was rated a 2 on a scale of 5. So just how high are the avalanche conditions right now, Danielle?
All right, so let's talk about this, because this is, if you're heading out into the backcountry, you need to take your precautions. You need to do your research, of course. This is avalanche.ca. This is the information that they post. You can see in the yellow here, that's at the moderate level, and that's really what we're looking at. Kananaskis through Banff all the way up to Jasper. Now, and likely in the forecast for the next 5 days, because there are some uneven and weak layers in the snowpack. So definitely something to watch out for, and always best to keep on the trails, the ski trails. All right, that's the risk there. So again, if you're headed out to the backcountry, make sure you do your research and know what you're doing. -1 is the temperature in Calgary right now. We did get up to +2 today, and that is it for at least the next 5 days when we're talking daytime highs over the freezing mark. We're in for a cooling trend now, and you'll definitely notice it in the coming days, and you'll need the parka, because we're looking at minus double-digit daytime highs. So quite a change from last week when we had record-breaking warmth. -6 is the temperature now in Lethbridge and Medicine Hat, -1 in Pincher Creek. This is a look at the wind gusts today, and as you can see, it was gustiest along the QE2, Calgary up to Red Deer, with gusts in the 70s. And then about 52 in Brooks, and in those 40s, Pincher Creek, Lethbridge to Medicine Hat. Now, we're looking at this weather shift kicking off tonight as the cold front moves through. And when a cold front this strong moves through, it sparks up some very strong wind gusts. And we're also going to see some snow and even squall-like conditions in some areas because of this, mainly tonight. So 90-kilometer-per-hour gusts certainly possible off to the east. So areas east of Calgary. Calgary is still looking at 70-kilometer-per-hour gusts for tonight, and Lethbridge around 60. Now, these winds will start to ease tomorrow, but tonight, this is the risk. So from the U.S. border all the way up through Foremost, Medicine Hat, Oyen, Hanna, 90-kilometer-per-hour gusts possible in areas just to the east of Calgary as well. And in this corridor here, Medicine Hat up to Oyen, we also have the risk of snow squall conditions. And that's why there is an advisory in place there too. So here's the big system. We have the cold front that will be moving down, sparking up these very strong winds and even some snow squalls. So I'm going to show you this in the futurecast here. In the overnight hours, you can see the striations in the cloud cover here, suggesting those strong winds out of the northwest, and there are the snow bands. And that again could reduce visibility down to 0 in some isolated areas, especially areas closer to the Saskatchewan border. All right, then that clears out after the overnight hours. So for tomorrow in the city, we are looking at seeing some sunshine, some cloudy periods, and the winds will ease from 70-kilometer-per-hour gusts tonight to 40-kilometer-per-hour gusts tomorrow. That will be out of the north tomorrow. That's a chilly wind, and we're looking at a high of -3, which is just the beginning of the cool down that's on the way. So Thursday, -13 degrees, and by Friday, still in those minus double digits. By Friday night, we have the potential of seeing about a centimeter, at least trace to a centimeter of snow, and then temperatures will recover as we get into the weekend a little bit. We still won't be above freezing, but we'll be closer to normal. Normal is -3 for this time of year, and that's pretty much what we're looking at for Saturday and Sunday. Tara?
Thank you, Danielle. How much time do you spend telling your kids to spend less time online? Experts say this shouldn't just fall on parents. There needs to be an entire societal shift to protect children. And a Cochran charity hits a major milestone for the incredible work it's doing in the community. That is still to come. The first of 26 recall petitions against MLAs has fallen short of its signature goal. The organizer for the recall petition against Education Minister Dimitrios Nicolaides brought her collected signatures to the Elections Alberta office today, one day before the deadline. In total, she estimates she collected more than 6,500 signatures, but that is short of the 16,000 required to force a recall vote. Still, she is calling her final tally against the Calgary-Bow MLA a success.
I mean, if 6,800 or call it more than 6,500 signatures doesn't tell our education minister that his constituents have an issue with the way that he's leading us, I don't know what will.
Petition organizers have to collect a number of signatures equal to 60% of the votes cast in that riding in the most recent election. Of the 25 remaining recall petitions, 23 are targeting UCP MLAs. Meanwhile, the education minister and a group of 10 other hikers have reached the top of Africa's highest mountain. The group summited Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania as part of a fundraising effort called Melanie's Ascent in honor of Dimitrios Nicolaides' murdered sister. It took the group 8 days to reach the peak at more than 19,000 feet elevation. They also reached their fundraising target of $300,000 for Fear Is Not Love to help women facing domestic abuse. 40-year-old Melanie Nicolaides was killed by her estranged husband outside a Calgary school 2 years ago. The American Academy of Pediatrics has released a new policy statement about screen time for children. A decade ago, it called on parents to limit the amount of time kids spent on a phone or a computer or a tablet. But new guidelines now also put the onus on government and tech companies. Tyson Fedor explains.
New guidance is calling for more action from more parties to limit screen time for children.
This policy, what's new is it takes a real system-wide approach and recognizes that kids' digital lives are really shaped not just by families, but by schools, by industry design choices, and by public policy as well.
The American Academy of Pediatrics released a new policy which included input from researchers, including the University of Calgary's Sherry Madigan. Experts are calling for change from tech companies and government.
Includes things like turning off autoplay by default, limiting these algorithmic feeds to kids, and removing a lot of targeted advertising that's going towards young children.
Following a global trend, Alberta banned cell phones in elementary and high schools in 2024 to give kids more focus and school staff fewer distractions. But the new policy also indicates kids need more real-world interaction in early childhood. Screen time for kids below age 5 negatively impacts sleep, language, and social skills and leads to more angry outbursts. School-age children with too much screen time lose attention faster, struggle in school, and are at higher risk of weight gain. As for teenagers, too much screen time leads to higher levels of depression or anxiety.
Taking up too much of people's time is not like being able to go outside and do actual things.
I don't like phones in school, especially because we can't really learn. Especially when you're on your phone, what do you do? When you're supposed to be cleaning at home, you always go on your phone, scroll a little bit. Always getting that bad habit.
The American Academy of Children and Adolescent Psychiatry recommends screen time for kids aged 6 to 15 be less than 2 hours per day.
I think it's a huge problem, to be honest. I wish I can cut down on my phone use, but there's I can do so much on my phone.
I'm on my phone so much. It's definitely a problem, but like he said, there's a lot you can do on there, so it's good but bad at the same time.
The policy suggests modeling healthy digital habits, adding parental controls, and carving out screen-free time for the entire family. Tyson Fedor, CTV News, Calgary.
It is the most expensive city in America, but New York doesn't have to be if you think outside the box. This couple just keeps rolling along. Our trending videos are next. A charity in the town of Cochran is making a difference in the community just west of Calgary. Cochran Home Treasures is a thrift store that's operated for 25 years. All of its inventory is donated, and proceeds from the sales go to help more than 40 other area charities. Here's Kevin Fleming.
There's always something new to see at the Cochran Home Treasure Store, with new inventory hitting the shelves daily. It's for people looking for a deal and others who need to spend as little as possible on items they need for their home.
The store started as an identified need in the community for people who were in need of household goods. And over the years, we've quickly grown and grown and grown. So in addition to providing household goods to individuals and families, we expanded years ago into taking the revenue from the store and giving it back to the community.
Don Tommy says in the last 5 years, $1 million has been donated. And Tommy says the store set a one-year record in 2025 of raising and donating almost $400,000.
Considering that so many of our items are $2, $5, $3, so it's not a lot of huge ticket items. And we just so rely on the Cochran community to just keep on coming through the back door with donations.
40 volunteers sort donations and stock shelves. Marianne Peterson says it's rewarding to know she's making a difference.
I know that what I'm doing is all the money that we make is going back into the community. And so it's just another way of helping.
The Cochran Humane Society receives funds from Home Treasures, money that helps feed and provide medical care to the animals.
Without them, we wouldn't have been able to help these animals the way that we did and get them on the right, healthy start to finding their next family.
Cochran's Family and Community Support Services helps everyone in the community, from seniors to new Canadians, find resources when they're in need.
The funds that we receive here provide stability for our team to ensure that all of our residents are supported and fill those gaps that the other funding doesn't support.
Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Cochran.
Amazing work. Well, there are a few cities in North America more expensive to live in than New York, but this couple found a way to do it rent-free. Yep, they live in a renovated school bus. It has everything they need. They've got solar panels on the roof for electricity. They've got a kitchen. They've got a bathroom. They've got beds for everyone, including the fur babies. They even have a vertical garden in there. Most of the comments on this video, people were more impressed they found parking in New York than the fact that they're living on a bus.
So never mind, just driving in New York in a big bus would probably be kind of tough.
Do they have to drive around all day is my question.
Yeah, true.
Until they can find a parking spot at night. I don't know, but I guess saves a little money. Well, you would have had to have lived in New York City decades ago to enjoy cheap rent, and these locals like to pretend that they do.
It was fascination, I know.
Well, here's a little blast from the past. People were encouraged to dress in their best 1940s for this retro day in the park. Fur-lined collared coats, fedoras on the men. Everybody looked very fancy.
Yeah.
They have vintage days there all the time.
They look so dapper. I
Don't
love
they,
it.
though? Yeah.
Who's riding the big bike, though?
I don't know. Who in this day and age has that balance and core strength? Well, plenty of parents wear their baby in a carrier inside their coat in the winter. So maybe this isn't that unusual. This little cat likes to be snuggled up and then, nope, thank you. I'm just closing the door. Don't let the cold air in. I know what I like, and I'd like to be covered up. Thank you very much.
Cover me up, please.
Oh, doesn't that just warm me up? That's so sweet.
That's very cute. Very cute. Still to come, Donald Trump's tariff and Greenland threats triggered a market sell-off today. It was the biggest decline in months. We will have the details in our business report.
Skywatch weather camera. It's calm. It's quiet right now. Today was mild. We're done with the mild. We're going to get into this nice little cold stretch here, and it's all going to start by some very gusty winds tonight. And a cold front that swipes through. All right, -1 is our current temperature. We did get up to +2 today. We will not have daytime highs above the freezing mark for the rest of this week. So, you know, we got to get used to it. Bring out the parka. We can handle this. -4 in Brooks right now, -6 in Medicine Hat and Lethbridge. This is a look at the gusts for tonight. So tonight, we are looking at 70 km/h gusts in Calgary, and east of Calgary, 90 km/h gusts, which is why there are wind warnings in place east of Calgary. Also squall-like conditions possible as this cold front makes its way through, with the windy conditions sparking up a few snowflakes as well. Reduced visibility down to 0 for areas closer to the Saskatchewan border, so Medicine Hat up to Oyen. Even Hannah included in that as well. All right, your 24-hour forecast brought to you by Action Furnace. Fixed rider is free. There's those 70 km/h gusts in the city tonight, and then easing to 40 km/h gusts tomorrow with a high of -3 and a mix of sun and cloud. And all communities below freezing for tomorrow, except for Kelowna at +1. -1 in Salmon, -4 in Fernie, -7 in Edmonton, -6 in Drumheller, double digits in Coronation for tomorrow. -3 in Lethbridge and -5 in Medicine Hat. A little on the windy side tomorrow, but the main wind is for tonight. Tara?
Thank you, Danielle. The North American stock market sank as world leaders met in Switzerland. BNN Bloomberg's Marla Fernandez has more.
The American markets were closed on Monday, so this is the first chance investors have had to respond to the rhetoric. And clearly, they were shaken, continuing to sell America, sending the market nosediving. Both the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ dropped over 2%. And the threat to Greenland sent spot gold to a new record high, above $4,700 an ounce. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is up to 72.29. West Texas Intermediate up over $1 to 60.36. Western Canadian Select unchanged at 45.16. And the TSX lost 340 points to slip back under 33,000. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marla Fernandez.
A young boy, given the opportunity to have a wish come true, used it to give something to an NHL superstar. And he did it with the help of a Calgary designer. Here's CTV's Raheem Ladani.
This is the moment Liam has been working towards for over a year, hanging out with his hockey idol, Toronto Maple Leafs captain Austin Matthews.
I was very excited and happy to meet him.
I know he's been dreaming of this moment for a really long time. Austin Matthews is incredible. It's his hero.
You see, Liam loves hockey. He gets on the ice whenever he can, though it's sometimes challenging living with cystic fibrosis. He was first diagnosed with the respiratory disorder at 3 weeks old.
At the time, we had no clue that we were carriers of it. So it was really scary for me. But I mean, as you can see, he's grown up to be an amazing little boy.
And Dina's amazing 10-year-old is also selfless. And this is where Make-A-Wish Canada comes in. Known for creating life-changing wishes for children diagnosed with critical illnesses, the organization asked Liam what he wants. But instead of a vacation or a new toy, Liam wished for the chance to design custom skates and stick for the Leafs captain.
It just reminded me of Austin Matthews, and I wanted to be like him one day.
His heart is so full. He would literally give you the shirt off his back. So it doesn't surprise me that he wanted to do something special for his hero, Austin.
Oh, dude. Look at these things.
With the help of a custom designer from Calgary, Liam drew some of Matthews' favorite things.
The Toronto Maple Leafs, Austin Matthews' dog, and Carlton the bear.
I was supposed to use them as inspiration. When I saw the drawings, I was like, I'm just going to reproduce the exact drawing, and that's what's going to go on the skate.
After Liam gifted Austin Matthews with the custom pair of skates and stick, Liam was then surprised with a replica version of both just for him. And these skates are also signed by Matthews himself. Is there anything he said to you that was really special?
Yeah. He'll try to get as much goals as he can possibly for me.
And as Matthews tries to follow through on his promise, he'll be keeping Liam's favorite saying in mind.
Never give up.
Raheem Ladani, CTV News.
Another Team Canada announcement today as we get closer to the Winter Olympic Games. Today, the para-hockey team was unveiled, and Glenn has that story for us next. A$AP Rocky will perform at this year's Stampede. The rapper will be at the Saddle Dome on July 4th. His latest album, called Don't Be Dumb, is his first in 8 years. Tickets go on sale January 27th. The Calgary Flames earned a point last night against the New Jersey Devils. Glenn is back with us, and Glenn, the Flames also made a roster move today.
Tara, the Flames called up forward Martin Pospisil. He was in with Calgary Wranglers on a conditioning stint. Meanwhile, Zach Whitecloud made his debut with the Flames last night, and he looked pretty good. Whitecloud flew to Calgary yesterday morning. He was in the lineup last night. Whitecloud wearing number 28. Midway through the first, the Flames shorthanded, and Whitecloud goes in on the 2-on-1, but he can't get the shot off. Okay, we're going to pick this one second period. Devils up 1-0. Take a look at this beauty pass from Kevin Bald, and Nazem Kadri beats Jacob Markstrom, ties the game at 1 apiece. That was all the scoring through regulation, so this game goes to overtime, and it was all Devils in the extra frame. Puck goes off the ref to Jack Hughes, right in front to a wide-open Simon Nemec, and he is going to flip it past Devin Cooley, who had another solid start for the Flames. Devils win it 2-1, but you had to be impressed with what you saw from Whitecloud.
Yeah, I felt good. Surprisingly, I honestly went in with
zero expectations on how I was going to feel. Obviously busy transition for my fiance and I, so just kind of hit the ground running, got in, got a little nap in today, which was nice. Then was able to come here a little earlier and get to know everyone, introduce myself, and kind of get into a regular game day routine, which helped a lot.
What's going through your head when you're on a 2-on-1 with the puck about 5 shifts into your Flames career?
Why is the parachute attached to my ass?
I think the fans and media are going to love this guy. Flames continue their homestand tomorrow night when the Pittsburgh Penguins pay a visit. The 2026 Paralympic Games are being held March 6th to the 15th in Italy. Today, they named Team Canada's para-hockey team. Oren Halbert is one of 5 players that will make their Paralympic debut at the 2026 Games in Milan Cortina. The 23-year-old from Calgary says this is a dream come true.
It means everything. I feel like this is the pinnacle of everything that I've been dreaming for my entire life. Like, I had a goal since the age I started playing hockey to make it to this level, and it's just really incredible to be able to finally show myself at a world stage like this.
Greg Westlake is the veteran on the team. The 39-year-old is going to his 6th and final Paralympic Games. Go Canada! And he says he is going to enjoy every minute of it.
So I'm really proud right now, and really just happy to go on this journey with my teammates and my brothers. And there were so many times throughout the summer and even this year where I didn't know if I could do it. I didn't know if my body could hold up. I didn't know if I'd get through this year, get to this point. And every time I felt that way, one of my brothers there was there to pick me up and give me support and encourage me to keep pushing.
Tyler McGregor is Canada's captain, and he says this team has the right mindset to bring home the gold.
It just feels different, and there's something special about the collective group of people that we have in this locker room, that we're willing to do whatever it takes for each other. We love and care about each other, and we know that when the time comes, we'll be ready.
Let's go get that gold.
You can feel their excitement. Mm-hmm. Okay, final peek at the forecast. A couple of cold days ahead.
Yeah, let's just have be ready for it. We can handle this. But there's a couple of days where our daytime highs will be in the minus double digits, as you can see here. This is your Action Furnace 5-day forecast. -3 as our high for tomorrow, so we're going to ease into the extra cold weather. -13 by Thursday and minus double digits for Friday. Friday night, we could see even a centimeter of snow. We recover a bit by the weekend into the minus single digits for daytime highs. All right, weather window brought to you by Lux Windows and Doors, crafting quality windows and doors for your style, budget, Alberta's climate. And yes, stunning photos coming in from last night. Scott Wallace took this beautiful photo of the Aurora Borealis last night in Canmore. If you want to see it for yourself, there is the chance you could see it tonight as well. Of course, though, it's windy tonight, so you have
probably
to
had lots of photos to pick through.
Yes.
Looks great. Thanks for your company tonight. Have a great evening. We'll see you again tomorrow.